Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Donalyn Hilton, producer for Goodspeed Musicals. Proud to say that I still know my name. I think it's going beautifully so far. Hi, Dan.
Hi, and I'm Dan McMahon, Director of Marketing for Goodspeed. Welcome to Greatspeed, which is our weekly look back at some of our favorite shows and hopefully some of your favorite shows that Goodspeed's put on.
Thanks. So before we begin tonight, we feel it's appropriate to acknowledge that George Floyd was laid to rest today. And our thoughts and our prayers are with his family and his friends. It can feel inappropriate to revisit lighthearted production at this moment. And it is in that spirit that I share that all of us at Goodspeed are deeply aware of our responsibility to speak out against racism and injustice wherever we see it, and particularly of our responsibility at Goodspeed to elevate the voices of artists of color. We have much work to do, and we're committed to doing it.
Are you waiting for me? Am I back on? Sorry.
I think you're back. You're back.
Okay. So before we bring in our guests, if you have questions or comments, if you're new to us, you can put your questions or comments on the right side of your screen in the box, or you can text them, if it's easier, to 860-638-7157. And that number is on your screen now, and we'll show it a few other times so you don't have to write it down.
Right. Okay. So before we bring our guests in tonight, we're going to look at one clip from our 2018 production of The Drowsy Chaperone. This is John Scherer as Man in Chair at the top of the show.
Let me read to you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Of course, the phrase gay wedding has a different meaning now, but back then it just meant fun. And that's just what this show is, fun. So, would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you now? Oh, I was hoping you'd say yes. You hear that static? I love that sound. To me, it's the sound of a time machine starting up. All right, now, let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Morrison Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August now. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold, and a heavy gray sleet is falling from the sky, but you don't care, because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? Overtures. Overtures are out of style now. I miss them. It's the show's way of welcoming you. Hello, welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? That's what an overture is. A musical appetizer. A poo-poo platter of tunes, if you will. Oh, something new. What could it be? Sounds like a dance tune. Kind of rollicking. Maybe involving pirates. Don't worry, there are no pirates. Oh, now here it comes. The moment when the music starts to build, and you know you're only seconds away from being transported.
Beautiful. I love it. I just love that. Just love it. Okay, so let's welcome our guest. Please say hello to Director Hunter Foster and John Scherer, Goodspeed's Man in Chair.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Boy, I was subtle, wasn't I?
Oh, so subtle.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
That's why we selected you for the
Throw it
role.
down for the camera.
I know New York audiences could see you.
That was the B-roll. We captured that early in the run before you nuanced your performance.
Oh, man,
That's
when I
what
came
that
back after...
No, shut up.
All right, first of all,
I'm
people
kidding.
like
No.
to catch up. So, John, where are you? How have you been riding out this pandemic?
I'm up in Buffalo, New York with my mom at my mom's house. I came up here to visit her in the beginning of March, and then everything went haywire, and I just stayed.
So she's probably having a great pandemic, having her son home.
She's ready to kill me. I think. And likewise.
And Hunter, where are you?
I'm in Syracuse, only 2 hours away from John. But we met in Rochester a few weeks ago.
On my birthday.
All right. That's right.
We met on the beach and had a socially distant happy birthday.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yep. And Hunter, you're up there because people may not be aware, our audience may not be aware that you're the artistic director of a theater up there. Yes.
Yep. And we're trying to,
your marketing person is saying, say the name.
The Red House Art Center in Syracuse, New York. Was she really saying it? Does she have your number?
No, I have her number.
Yeah, the Red House Art Center in Syracuse, New York. And we had to cancel, just like everyone else, we had to cancel our season, our last two shows. The fact that John was going to star in. So we were in the middle of doing Fences. And then after our first week of rehearsal, we had to cancel. And then John was supposed to star in Fun Home, which would have been our final show, and we had to cancel that as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Okay. So I always have so much fun. It's always such a positive experience to pull out the B-roll and review everything and select our clips for our Greatspeed segments. And as Man and Cher says late in the show, the Drowsy Chaperone does exactly what a musical is supposed to do. It helps you escape from the horrors of the real world. So let's escape a little bit. I want to share with you two, before we proceed, though, that Lisa Lambert is in this. Her name is in the, she said hello from Toronto. So hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us. Lisa was one of the writers of music and lyrics for the show, along with Gregg Morrison and Bob Martin and Don McKellar, who wrote the show. So thank you, Lisa, for tuning in. That's exciting. All right, so let's look some more clips. I think first, let's see. Wait, are my pages out of order?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were going to talk a little bit about casting.
Thank you.
How about
Casting.
Yeah.
Yes. Because we ended up with such a fantastic company for this show.
Oh, yeah.
And we had absolutely wonderful company.
And we had so much fun. I remember we had so much fun casting. Like we laughed a lot in those rooms. Because these are such larger than life characters, and then having all these people sort of come in and everyone was so fantastic. But just to see them play Adolfo and the chaperone and Man and Cher. And then John, what did you do when you came in an audition?
Yeah, I've heard rumors about this one.
I brought in a prop with me. I made a prop album cover of the Drowsy Chaperone. When I opened it up and started talking about Beatrice Stockwell, and I say, "Look at her, isn't she glamorous?" I had taken a picture of Donna Lynn and put her picture on the album cover. So it was a good little fun thing.
So we were laughing for the rest of the audition and didn't do it. So then we had to give him the role.
Right, exactly. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So I can't believe that anybody who's tuning in here doesn't know what the Drowsy Chaperone is about, but loosely it's built around a wedding. A bride and her chaperone, the groom, his best man, and other interested parties arrive at the home of Mrs. Tottendale, where the wedding's scheduled to take place, and everything you might expect would happen in a musical comedy takes place, and things fall apart. The groom loses the bride, and then of course he gets her back before the end of the show. Lots of humor, song, and dance, and it's a very lighthearted romp. And Man and Cher kind of leads us through the whole thing as he plays the album for us. That's the conceit of the show. And he introduces all the characters in the show. So one of the introductions is through the following song. Let's look at Stephanie Rothenberg as Janet Van de Graaff singing Show Off.
I don't want to be cute no more. Make the gentleman hoot no more. I don't want to wear fruit no more. I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off no more.
Not me.
Read her name in the news no more.
Page 3.
Check her glowing reviews no more.
I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't want to change keys no more. I don't want to trip tease no more. I don't want to say cheese no more. I don't care if you scoff. I don't want to be cheered no more. Praised no more. Grabbed no more. Touched no more. Loved no more. I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't want to show off. She don't wanna show off. I don't wanna show off.
She don't wanna show off.
I don't wanna show. No more.
Wow.
Yay! Wow.
Speaking of showing off, that
Stephanie.
shows off Greg Barnes' costumes amazing. You know, if you didn't know, he won the Tony for that, for the designs at Broadway. And the set that we loved was Howard Jones, lights, Kirk Bookman, and then who could forget Chris Bailey's choreography? And we want to go right into that to show you some. Here's I think one of the best examples. We'll meet Clyde Alves, who was Robert Martin, and Tim Falter, who was his best man, George. Let's take a look.
Cold beats, small beats, turn them into bold beats. Rhythm make them cold beats.
Wow.
Excellent tap dancing. Excellent tap dancing.
I mean, they say that Chris Bailey taught that, but I mean, to be honest, it was really, those steps are mine. I mean,
Oh, well,
those
I
steps are
wasn't
mine.
going to share that. But,
I mean, I would take Chris and I was like, Chris, you should really do these steps. And he would pass them on. So,
and he would just feed
Yeah.
them directly to
Yeah.
the dancers. Yeah. You should take more credit.
yep.
But John,
Yes.
Dan made an observation when we were looking at these clips this afternoon. I think we've lost Dan. He's frozen up for a minute. So I can say he just registered in the moment that you had pretty intricate choreography in that number.
Well, I mean,
And I shared that you were in fact a tap dancer.
I am a tap dancer.
Yes, people may not remember that.
In fact, I played George M. at the beautiful Goodspeed Opera House years ago.
Yes, you
That was a
did.
big tap show. That was
And
fun.
I saw you do
That
it.
was fun.
Oh, that's right, because you were up
Did
doing
Yeah.
42 that summer.
I think so. I remember seeing it. I didn't know you then. I remember seeing
that. I knew Jen, but I didn't know you yet.
and I was sort of blown away because, like I said, you don't see a lot of song and dance men, which you know we are. John, you and I are both.
Newsflash.
No, but I mean, but you don't see a lot of really talented song and dance men, and yeah, I thought you were great in that. Great.
That was a great production, also.
Yeah, it was really. Who directed it?
Greg Ganakis directed it.
Yeah.
All right, Greg
Yeah.
Ganakis.
And Randy
I talked
Skinner.
to him this week. I spoke to Greg
You
Ganakis
did?
this week.
I haven't
I
talked to him
did.
in years.
Oh, I want to hear about
He's
that.
been watching some of these. He had been tuning in for some of these.
Oh my
Greg
God.
Ganakis, if you are here, drop a comment
I
into
love
the
Greg
comment line.
Ganakis.
We should do one of these for George M. The video won't be as good. The
fun.
B-roll will not be as good because it was
It's
before.
old.
Oh, grainy.
It's old.
Yes.
Thank you. But we should do it anyway.
And Randy Skinner choreographed that, and that was great. That was great.
Yes.
choreography.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Crandall, do you remember Hamburger Hands?
So we have a question in the feed I want to get answered. How was the tap dance mic'd? It sounded good. It did sound good. And my husband in the other room, Jay Hilton, our resident sound designer, I think the guys wore mics on their legs, didn't they? Weren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they have a mic run down their legs?
Yep.
Yeah. So to Joshua Reed, I will say, they wear a mic that is run down to their feet, or two mics that they put under their pants, run down to their feet, and that's how we mic their taps. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. All right, let's look at some more show. we have Jennifer Allen as the Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Stumble along. Fasten your seatbelts.
Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration? But really, dear, that's hardly my forte.
Well, yes, but
As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. So we bumble our way through life's crazy labyrinth, barely knowing left from right, nor right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope a bluebird will sing his song as we stumble along. And when we finally leave the bar and we see that morning star, we pull our bootstraps up and homeward turn. Then we stumble away through dawn's blinding sunbeams, barely knowing right from right, nor left from wrong. But as long as we can hear that little bluebird, there'll be our song as we stumble along, as we stumble, fumble, tumble, plumble, as we stumble
She's
So-
insane.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
That voice, you know,
Oh,
that
oh,
voice
absolutely.
was just, yeah, she was great.
And so let's talk a little bit about the process, actually, because I always say this about tap dancing. They make it look so easy. Great tappers make it look so easy. It looks like any of us could just hop up out of the chair and do it, you know? And great comedy is a little bit that way too. And it's so hard. It's so difficult. And people who do it well, like this entire company of actors, truly just make it look like an easy, lighthearted romp, and it is work. So can you talk a
Yes,
little
indeed.
bit, the
I
two
mean,
of you, about
I
that process? About
Well-
finding it.
Well, I
dialing
think
it
a
in.
lot of it. I think a lot of it is on the material, and the material in the show is so good that you most of the time, if you have a good script, then you really sort of present it in the most honest way that you can, and then it'll be funny. I mean, obviously, if you play it for laughs, it's not going to be funny. So, but what they wrote was so brilliant, and also one thing about Jen Allen that I think Hunter and I talked about this at one point. You know, the Beth Level was so brilliant in that original company. It was so that performance was sort of emblazoned if you saw it. And Jen Allen did a completely original take on it.
Mhm.
And it was, I think, Hunter, we talked about, and I think you said in the auditions that she came in and it was just completely different than anything you saw anybody else do.
Yeah, I think, you know, you obviously when you're doing something that's been done on Broadway that you've seen, that you have in your head about, like, whether it's, you know, Beth Level or Bob Martin, whoever playing these parts, and then so you're sort of tainted by that, because you're thinking, oh well, that's, even though you're trying to get away from it, but you've been studying the show and you've been listening to Beth do the role, and there were people who came in who were more similar to what Beth had done. And then I think what was so refreshing is that when Jen kind of came in and was like, oh, she's just like, as if she had never seen the show or read the show. She just kind of came in and was like, I'm going to do, this is what I interpret it to be. And we were so sort of just blown away by that. But then on the flip side, if it's so different than what was done, then are we not doing what's supposed to be done? How the show, but it turned out that it was actually, it worked brilliantly. And to go back to the comedy thing, I think it's also important, I think, is to make sure everyone's sort of telling the same story and also living in the same world. And a show like this, where it could be, you're right, if it went over the top in a non-honest way, then it's not funny. But it's also having everyone sort of listen to each other and react to each other and live in the same tonal world, which I think is important to comedy. And I thought this group really did it. They really sort of just like worked as a group. Something we kept saying a lot, and I think that's really key to comedy. And not making it, like I said, just keeping, like even Adolfo, which is the most insane character in the show. But I was like, you know what? Make sure it's as honest. Don't try to make it, this. If you make it this cartoon that's so big, it's not going to be funny.
Right.
Yeah.
It all worked.
It did. It worked beautifully, certainly.
The show looks so beautiful.
It does.
I never got to see it.
No, Kirk, oh my
It
God,
was beautiful.
Kirk lit that thing so well.
He
Oh
did.
my God.
Yeah.
He did. I've talked to Kirk during this pandemic too.
Oh, how was it?
He's great. He's great. They're upstate. They're upstate.
Oh, they are. Great.
Yeah. Sorry, people don't want to know her. So, John, when I was selecting these clips, I found myself there's so much great material that we're not able to use, but I found myself really drawn to the pieces where I could really enjoy the man in chair's appreciation of the show. What was it like to sit there, performance after performance, and react, watch, observe, love what was happening on the stage?
Just incredible. It's such a great part. When I saw the show originally, I saw it in previews when it was in New York, and I was like, I want to play that part. And it really is, well, first of all, doing it at Goodspeed was so great because Goodspeed specialized in those 20s musicals for such a long time. So doing it in that little jewel box was so incredible, and it's so intimate and immediate. So that was great. And then it's just great to watch people do their stuff. And it made my job actually really easy, just watching it and enjoying it, and, finding moments where you get more taken in the story or whatever. And it was just, it's a great part.
Right. We have someone who's asking why we show clips like this before the show. I don't want to be rude, but to start the show already, sorry to say this is the show. We're not able to stream the whole show, so we just have clips. Sorry to disappoint, but this is what we have. So sorry that was not clear to you. Okay. So John, the next piece we have is The Bride's Lament. And you wanna set this one up for us?
Oh God, I don't even know if I don't even know how to set that up. Hunter, do you know how to set that up?
The Bride's, we mean set up as far as like what you said to lead into it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's placed in the show.
Well, I mean, it's
after they've broken up, right? And so she's very sad, and she's singing. She misses her. She called. Oh, that's right. She called her little monkey, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And yes, and so that's when the statue, this giant monkey statue, comes out, and they go. Well, I don't want to give it.
Yeah, let's not give it away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here is a portion of The Bride's Lament from the Drowsy Chaperone.
But the tune is beautiful, and it truly communicates the bride's state of mind. Just ignore the lyrics.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay. And he did for a time, but he needed to climb and with other monkeys play far away. He left his jacket on that pedestal beside his tiny rusty cup. And I haven't got the strength to pick them up. Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal for you.
I'm just gonna pour myself a brandy.
Come, my little monkey, come, my little monkey, do.
The melody is so simple. It just floats in the air. And I must confess, I always get a little bit misty when I think of that tiny jacket lying on the pedestal. Its long sleeves dangling on the floor.
Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal for you.
Oh my God.
I totally forgot about it. I mean, I really forgot.
Can I just say something? Is it that was that whole number? Are you going to show the rest of the number, or are you just showing that first part?
No, just that part.
Okay, but that whole number was such a great collaboration of designer ideas that all came together. And what I mean by that we went completely different from how it was originally done on Broadway. And I'll never forget. Like, so Chris and I talked about how we wanted to change it. And so I talked to Gregg, and I was like, Gregg Barnes, the costume designer. I'm like, Gregg, I said, we have an idea, and he's like, and it's going to change the costumes. And this is the Tony Award-winning costume designer. And Gregg goes, great. What do you want to do? And I was like, oh my God. And then we talked to Howard, and Howard Jones, the set designer. He goes, I'm thinking of a giant monkey statue. So it was this collaboration of like all the designers and Chris and me, we kind of came up with it. And so we sort of conceived the whole number, but it was just everyone collaborating, which I thought was just really great to have all those designers sort of have their input. And then Gregg rethought all the costumes.
And the audience reaction was such a big part of that. You can hear the audience in that clip. I mean, they loved this show, but in that one, you really hear it. And John, I'm curious how that played throughout the show and affected the pace.
Well, you have to stay on top of it, and you can't let it go on too long. You sort of want to keep ahead of them, but you have to allow them to have a good time too. So it's a bit of a balancing act. But I mean, it's not hard to. I don't think it's hard to do. You just have to, stay within the bounds of good taste. Shut up.
So we have continued to appreciate the monkey. I think that we have a picture of him in his location right now. He sits in the scene shop break room because we don't have anywhere else to store him, and we can't throw him away.
No,
he sits in the scene shop break room where we see him.
So funny.
And every time I walk in there, it's like monkey, monkey, monkey.
Yeah, Howard would call me, and he's like, "Do you think the monkey's too much?" And I kept saying, I don't know. And he goes, because if we're going to build it, we got to use it. And I'm like, okay. Howard was so concerned. He thought that this giant monkey was going to be.
He had some producer all over his ass. Oh, pardon me. But okay. So wait, we have a comment, John. We have a comment from someone who loved your man in chair, delight in your delight. And they're asking if you are any relation to the Scherer Library of Musical Theater here at Goodspeed.
It's so funny. I'm not, but this is funny. The summer that we did George M., I met Hank and Susan Scherer, who were the people who donated money for that library. And Hank came up to me. He was at our Sitzprobe at the rehearsal studio. And he came up to me and said, young man, he was going over the top of this. You are George M. Cohan. You put Jimmy Cagney to shame. And my name is Scherer, and I'm adopting you as my long-lost grandson.
That's a very good imitation of Hank.
So I became very good friends with them. And of course, we lost Susan last year, which was so sad.
Yeah, Hank and Susan were longtime supporters of Goodspeed, and Susan was on our board for many, many years.
Yeah, we would always, when they would come to New York, we'd get together, or whenever I was up at Goodspeed, we would always have lunch and stuff. And so but it was funny because that summer of George M., they had a big picture of me as George M. on that little billboard outside the theater. And then that's the summer that it was renamed the Scherer Library. And it's like, I own this town.
All right, let's look at, this will be fun. This is, okay, so one of the B plots of the show has Mrs. Tottendale and her butler, whose name is Underling in the show. perfect, of course, fallen in love. And so here is their final scene together.
Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which we can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love is always lovely in the end.
But Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, madam.
Oh, I never read reviews. Love can start a quarrel, love can cause a din, but love has always been a trusty friend. 'Twas a happy fate for Hank the Eight and Anne Boleyn. Love is always lovely in the end.
Might I remind you, madam, that Anne Boleyn lost her head?
Yes, she was in love. Love was good to Eve and Adam.
Here we go again.
And Samson and Delilah too.
Good grief, may I pose a question, madam?
Why, yes, of course.
Why does nothing I say to you ever get through?
Don't mind if I do. Love is always lovely.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Love is always lovely in the end. Love is always lovely in the end.
You know, that was one. I mean, just one of the like wonderful comedic scenes, and I'm so sorry we weren't able to include the spit take in that clip because that is legendary.
I think that's the thing we rehearsed the most, wasn't it, Hunter?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, who knew the spit takes were gonna, talk about spit? Yeah. That's hard. Yeah, but that's comes from a different era, like the timing of spit takes. So. Yeah.
Also,
J. Aubrey Jones says that he loved doing that number.
Oh, I love Jay.
Love him. Love him.
Ruth and Jay were so. I mean, they were great. Cast. I just love that whole cast.
Yeah.
Ruth is a really wonderful dancer, but she hurt her knee like the first week of rehearsal, and so they incorporated the cane into the character, and they had to change the choreography.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's right.
That's right.
I never knew that.
It worked beautifully. It worked beautifully. Yep. All right. We have one last clip to share. We're going to do it on our way out. So Hunter and John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll do it again soon. We'll try to get George in the queue, John.
Great.
Okay, we'll have to pull those clips out and see what we have there. So before we go, I just want to take a moment to offer a special thank you to all of our members and subscribers who have contributed their ticket refunds to our Footlights Fund. Your generosity is critical to our survival at this time. If you want to do more, and you can visit goodspeed.org to make a contribution. We are deeply grateful for your support.
And please join us next Tuesday when Greatspeed will feature Anything Goes. Our guest will be the leading lady, Rashida Jones.
Rashida Scott.
Rashida Scott. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Rashida, if you're listening. And choreographer.
And choreographer Kelly Barkley. He's frozen up again. So everybody, thank you for being with us. Please do continue to stay safe. And here's the finale of Goodspeed's 2018 production of The Drowsy Chaperone.
It does what a musical is supposed to do. It takes you to another world. And it gives you a little tune to carry with you in your head, a little something to help you escape from the dreary horrors of the real world. A little something for when you're feeling blue, As we stumble along on life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do.
Waiting to happen.
Still we bumble our way
I don't wanna sing tunes
through
no
life. life's crazy
Wedding bells
laugh.
will ring, wedding bells will chime.
Barely knowing left from right.
I am undoubtful.
Wrong